You need to pour into your people because without them, we are nothing.
I like saying just starting. A lot of people have ideas and then they don't take that initiative.
2021 was the humbling moment. I made a lot of money, and then that money, one of the wells dried up.
Welcome back to another episode of The Real Deal with Alan and Andrew. So happy to have you guys with us. Special guest today, somebody that, we are very close to, so this means a lot. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Welcome, Daryl Smith.
What's up, Daryl?
What's up? How you doing, guy? Appreciate it, Rick and Rick.
All right, so a little bit of background about Mr. Smith. For all of you that don't know, go check out his Instagram. He's got a lot of things going on, doing a lot of things for the San Antonio community. Commend you for that.
Appreciate
He's a father first. His son is running around back here, dropping phones and stuff. So, I think that's let's kick off with that. I mean, you are a serial entrepreneur. You got multiple ventures going on.
Yeah.
And you keep popping out kids every time I see you.
I do want to say one thing too about him.
Go ahead.
He's humbled. He's not afraid to ask questions, ask another grown man questions. And I think we talked about it. You always willing to lower that pride, no matter who's watching, who's looking. So
yeah, for sure.
But we ain't gonna tell all your story. We'll leave it to that.
Yeah. So the humble Daryl Smith.
Yeah.
How many kids you got?
I have three beautiful children.
How old are they?
We got Caitlin is 3 years old. She runs our household.
Caitlin the queen?
We got Daryl, he's 8, and then I got Evelyn that's 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are their personalities like?
Different.
Yeah.
Different. You got my oldest is the bookworm. She's the quiet, she's the introvert.
Mm-hmm.
You got the baby is out there, right? She's gonna be the firecracker, and then Daryl's in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daryl's still finding himself, but he's out in the back. Yeah.
You said 9?
No, 8.
8?
Daryl's 8.
Okay.
Caitlin is 3, and then she'll be 4 June, and then Evelyn is 10.
Are you gonna have any more?
Oh no, I got that thing. I got that thing.
You got that thing.
You got that thing.
See, like that. A lot of us say we're gonna do it, and we don't do it. I've been saying I was gonna get that thing for a long time, and I got a new one right now.
I was actually voluntold, after the last one.
Voluntold.
Yeah, she was like, no more. And I was like, okay.
Oh, right. Well, that's a good point, because I think that's probably happier marriage.
Yes.
The man that says I got voluntold and voluntarily admitted it.
Yeah, and I wasn't tripping. I mean, I don't need a basketball team, right?
Yeah.
I'm good with my 3.
Yeah, 3 is 3 all you need in today's world.
3 is good. Got my 2 girls and my boy, man. I'm good.
Yeah. You got voluntold.
Yeah.
Man. So you're married.
Yeah.
How long you been married?
So we actually be 12 years this December.
Golly.
December. Yeah. Same amount of time.
We all got married
Wing
at
It.
the same time.
Yeah. So 12 years coming up in December.
Yeah.
And then we'd be 12 years with
Congrats.
Wing It in next month. So yeah, that's how I remember.
Yeah. No, you need like the extra timelines
Yeah,
to
of course.
sync to make things.
100%.
I don't know how people remember everybody's birthday. Like, I feel bad. I don't remember anybody's birthday. Like, I remember my son's because it's just
100%.
I mean, he's gonna ask
You know
me
the
for
month?
things.
Do you know people's month?
I kind of know the months. Yeah,
You're May?
not really.
July.
I'm a June guy.
Yeah, I don't know nobody's.
But I feel like you get to like after 30, you shouldn't have to know anyone's birthday.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
when
for
you have
sure.
kids,
Yeah.
It's
100%.
We'll know when it's coming around. Like, shoot, Barlow's
you get a
birthday's month
feeling.
away.
Yeah, for sure.
So how has being married
Yeah.
affected you in a positive or negative way in all your
Both.
kind of business challenges?
I think it's definitely, you definitely have to have a balance, right? I think that's the biggest thing is trying to balance, work life. I definitely don't want to miss any time, with the little ones.
Yeah.
So those, and being present, right? For me is really big. I'm still learning to right. I don't think you have all those answers, right? Being an entrepreneur, father, husband, we tend to mess up, but progressing, right? Progressing every day.
Yeah. So what is like something that you are working on right now, kind of outside of the entrepreneurial space? What's something that Daryl the man is working on, you know?
Family wise, or just in general?
Family wise, anything.
Well, so I think the big thing, like I just touched on, like being present, right? Being there for whatever it might be, whether it's my son's game, whether it's a daughter's, you know, recital, whatever it might be, you know, just kind of being present, putting that phone away.
I want to see you coaching on that
being
recital.
the new successful, defining the new way of success, man. Because back then, the men, if they were grinding, you know, making that money, they weren't always active in their kids' life, missing games, things like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it from him, seen it from me, seen it from you. Defining it, we're like the new generation of like, hey, we're gonna make money, we're gonna build a business, but hey, my kid's game is tomorrow. I'm still gonna make that game.
Back in the day, it was like, I just went to work. What you know?
That's 100%.
That was it.
That's 100%.
If they made a game, then it was like, you know, you know how hard I worked all day.
Yeah. I think that's big for me too, because like I didn't have that. Like my pops, no offense to you know my family, but like I didn't have that support, you know, that support. And I was like, I told myself, like, when I have kids, I want to be there.
Absolutely.
I want to be looking in the stands and they see me. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be that dad. And then I want them to, you know, be able to show them like the path, right? Show them like, you know, the legacy, like, hey, I'm doing this, like, not for just me, for you. I'm teaching you. And then they're watching me.
Man, that's so important, because I feel like as the legacy is being built, like, I have my son right up beside me, so he's witnessing everything that is going on. He's seeing everything takes place. He's touching it. He's hearing it. He's seeing it. So by the time that dude gets to be 25, he better be a force, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're all doing that with our kids. They're all around everything that we're building, and we're all building together. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have that in common, and hopefully one day these kids collaborate and build something bigger than what we've set, you know?
Yeah, we got to get our kids back on collaboration.
Yeah.
They're competitive.
It'll happen.
But I want to know how you started on this journey. I kind of know.
Yeah.
But I know they don't know. But let them know how'd you start this?
It actually started before that, right? So let's go back to young Daryl. So a lot of people don't know about me. So in college, I was a waiter like most of my life, right? Worked at Olive Garden, Papa Do's.
Did you wear an apron?
I did, man.
I had that Olive Garden.
Yeah. You worked at Olive Garden?
Man.
I was privileged.
Shit.
I just worked at YMCA.
Okay.
I just worked at the
YMCA. So those guys. but it's funny. So my mom pushed me, and I didn't want. So it's crazy. My mom pushed me into hospitality young, and I was like, I didn't want. You know, that was like kind of like my first taste of getting money, right? Getting like the tips and stuff like that. So
I was getting money.
I was getting money.
At that time, it was money.
It was money, right?
He was leaving with $65.
Man, because I mean, so for me, like my work ethic, I didn't have the best work ethic young, right? I was getting fired a lot, worked out all these jobs, and I'm not ashamed to say, man, you know, I was that guy looking at the clock like, hey, is it time to go? You know what I'm saying? And they let me go for this, for dumb stuff, right? Just being dumb.
You've been fired?
Bro, a lot. A lot. I'm not gonna lie, a lot, man. But I think it made me. So anyway, going back. So
somebody is watching this like that little mother.
Hey, and I probably work for them, man, and I probably deserve to get fired. That's the big thing, right? I deserve to get fired, and I see that now. My employees like, you know, I was you, right? But going back, so my mom, I think she instilled. So she had actually a Macy's franchise when I was like 5, right? So I think that little inkling of that, and it didn't last long. Yeah,
your mom,
my mom,
she
had a Macy's franchise. They had a lot back in the day, right?
Dang.
Like he was the man back in the day. And it didn't last long, right? I think she might have less than a year they were open.
Golly.
But at the same time, I must have saw it, right?
Yes.
It put something in me, right? So going back, going into college, going into high school, the end of my high school years, my first real job like was Olive Garden, right? So I learned customer service. I learned like, you know, making that money early on. And I did that here in San Antonio first. And when I went out to college, I went to Texas Southern University in Houston. That was like my first job. I transferred out there, and again, that was my means of making money.
Oh yeah.
Every time I got to $100, I put in a shoebox.
When you made 100,
man,
you made a bill.
So I was, every time I made $100, I would literally put it in my bed in my little shoebox. I had a Nike shoebox, right? In my dorm,
couple of US polos
in college, right? And every time I made 100, I put it up in there in the shoebox, and I felt like a little dope boy back in the day, right? But I was making legal money,
the right
way. And so that's what I did in college, right? I did that at, like I said, Olive Garden, Papa Do's, and I remember working at Dave & Buster's one year. And I was like, I would doodle, like, I was like, man, you know what? I want to do my own spot. I wanted a food truck. I don't know what that came, but I was like, I want a food truck. And in college, they call me Baby D, right? So I'm a Kappa. Shout out to the Noops. I ended up pledging like my freshman year, and I was the youngest online, and they used to call me Baby D. So I wanted my truck to be called Baby D's Wings, right? So I would be at the host stand. I would be drawing pictures of food trucks. And I'm like, hey, Baby D's Wings, it's gonna look like this. I still got a picture of a picture I drew. And it wasn't until in my senior year, we had in my entrepreneurship class, we had a assignment on starting a business. It was a group project, and it was I never forget. I wanted to do a food truck.
I had that class.
They didn't want. So I was the last resort, right? They was like, I'm gonna do no food truck, right? But I think we was procrastinating, and then we was like, all right, we just do the food truck idea with Daryl had. We ended up getting an A, right? So we had, I mean, again, I wasn't the brightest student, right? But we ended up getting an A, and I had a whole business plan, right? I might not help with all the business plan. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to my team, right? Back in the day, but we got an A. So I was like, you know what? I got a business plan. I got this thing. I can do it. So I used to go online back in the day. Craigslist was a spot, and I would just look for food trucks, right?
Hey, by the way, Craigslist was the first version of ChatGPT. Whatever you wanted, bro, you could go to Craigslist,
right?
You could buy an Airstream, a mattress,
bro,
or Amazon,
a kidney.
Craigslist was the thing. So man, I would go on Craigslist, and I saw this food truck. It was an old Honduran food truck, man, on the north side of Houston. And I would hit the guy. I'm like, man, that thing clean, right? Mm-hmm. And I actually went to go see it in person, and I was like, man. I was the guy that barely spoke English. I had to really get translated by his son. Like I'm like, yeah, right. I want that, right? Dinero, right? But we end up, like I said, negotiating, and then with the money I was saving, right, that became my first down payment. Like he wanted like crazy amount. He wanted like $18K. So
you did it on the finance,
but it was sitting. But it was sitting.
You did it on the finance.
I didn't do on the finance. I did a down payment. I negotiated, and he allowed me to make payments, right? I was like, because he was like, this dude's serious, because he keep coming back every week. I was like, literally, and if you know by Houston, the north side is the other side of town. Yeah. I was on the south side, going all the way to the north side, like 45 minutes, right?
For sure.
So, but I had a little 2003 Escort, Chevy Ford Escort.
No, you had an Escort.
Man, hey, it was clean though. I had little red calibers.
Had the
Kappa.
I've never seen a clean Escort.
The bass in the trunk,
bro.
I had
no bass.
There was no clean Escort.
I gotta find a picture.
Stop lying.
If he had the bass, it would have been.
No. Okay, Paul. Look. So it had.
We need a picture
I'm gonna find a picture. I had red calibers. Right. I painted them myself.
No, you didn't.
Spray painted them red. Spray painted them red. I had tint. Man, that was my bro. Okay. Anyway, we drive to the north side. The guy thought I was serious. Never forget getting the truck. And I'm literally driving it around, like, and I'm like, little black guy driving a taco truck, right? Literally, it had like white truck, had pictures of tacos all over it. And I was like, okay. And then I did my little down payment. We had our little deal, and I rode it back to the south side, right? Mm-hmm. I never forget. So I seen like some students going back to campus. They were like, "Oh, he for real?" I said, "Oh, you think I'm not?" Right? and that was my journey, right? That's how it started, man. It started with that food truck, and I mean, just networking. I ended up painting the candy red, and the first name of it was Wing Express. So Wing Express was the name, and when me and my wife were dating at the time, her cousin was in culinary school. So I had the idea, but I wasn't a chef, right? Mm-hmm. I was a hood chef. I make stuff, taste it, what it like. But he was in culinary school, so we ended up we would sync, we meshed well, and it was like, you know what? He became my guy. I was like, hey, let's do this flavor, right? And we would collab like that. So we did that for a little bit. We set up first time setting up. We was at the bookstore at TSU, and we had a little customer. We did like wing and waffles. We did like I think we did like fish tacos. We did wings, of course, and that's how we started, right? got a little buzz, we started doing nightlife, and how business is, you know, like people, you know, you have partnerships for a season, right? Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately that, you know, we end up going our separate ways. But for me, it was like, you know what, I can't allow one person to dictate my growth, my business, right?
Right.
So I became those things. I became the cook. I became the chef. I became the truck broke down. I became the mechanic at times, right? So I became those things and end up like I said, doing my thing, Wing Express, and that's how I paid my rent in college, right? I'm from San Antonio, but
you were making profit.
I was making making enough to pay my rent.
Yeah.
Right. And again,
cheap.
when I say hustle, bro, I literally used to, if we went to a spot, I go to nightlife, right? I go to the club. We didn't sell out. We're going to nightlife, right? We're going to the after hour. We're going to the butt naked, right? But again, I used to see the sun come up, but that's how I paid my rent. That was my hustle. So I did that in college early on, and that's how I started.
Did you continue it immediately after college, or there was like a
so going back, man. So business is hard, right? I had, in Houston, like, you know, you see people that, you know, they see you making money. You know, I dealt with other partners, you know, party promoters and people in Houston that, you know, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm like, I needed a change, a venue. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to the military. So I end up actually taking a hiatus. So I was like, you know what, I need some discipline. Like I said, I just graduated, did like a good year and a half in business. I'm like, man, this a little hard, right? I need a restart. So I was like, you know what? I put my truck in storage and I went off to the Air Force. But I was like, you know what? I ain't stupid. I'm not going active duty. I'm going to do reserve because they're not sending me to Afghanistan, right?
Right.
So I was like, at least I'll be a part-time.
Reserve is the first to go.
Man, you don't know what you don't know, right? So so that's what brought me back home. Because I was like, never in a million years, you know, going off to college, would I think I was going to come back to San Antonio. But
especially going to Houston.
Yeah, bro, literally, because like I think, especially being a minority, you know, you going to Houston, you see, it's like Atlanta, right? You see us thriving and doing stuff. So, you know, ideally, I'm ready to go back. But in the military, it kind of switched me a little bit because I was literally in formation and I would see food trucks at the PX, right? At the commissary and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, I'm kind of getting in trouble because I'm like looking at, you know, I'm supposed to be in formation, but I'm looking over there. So my mind is like, and I'm like, hold up, San Antonio got like 4 bases, right? So initially I wanted like 10 trucks because I used to see like the Hispanic trucks in the mornings, right? Go off to the taco. I used to
tacos.
It used to be a commissary. It should be a place in Houston that it was like, that's where they set up at. It would be like 6 trucks, right? They would like clockwork. They all go out at the same time. They come back by 3 o'clock, clean the truck, do it the next day. I was like, I want that with my spot, right? With wings. I was like, it's possible. So that was always in the back of my mind. So going back to the military, after I came back, I think I was on a break, and shout out to my boy Debo. He introduced
I remember this.
He introduced me to Bernardo, right? So Bernardo kind of heard what I was doing in Houston.
You know how that happened?
How it happened? Was that you?
No, me and Debo were sitting at home, and he's like, "Yeah, Bernardo was my roommate, and Bernardo started a food truck."
Go back. Hold on. This is before that. I'm gonna show you that.
It was before he had the food truck. Okay.
DeAndre hit me up and he's like, I got a guy I want you to meet, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Bernardo was that person, and we had a little meeting, and I think Dieter was there too. And we met at Chacho's, and he was like, yeah. Chacho's, right?
That was a spot.
That was a spot, man, right on Parambido. And we had our little meeting, and you see Bernardo for the first time. I'm like, who is this guy, right? I'm like, man, I'm like, who is this swole guy, man? I'm like, I don't know about doing no business with this guy, but Bernardo, I was like, who this guy with his red Corvette? He had a Camaro. I'm like, and mind you, he at college. I'm like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Bernardo was the man. So he was the man. So again, so I was like, you know what? I don't know about, he mentioned, I think he wanted a franchise or something. And I was like, man, I don't know about partnerships because I just dealt with party promoters in Houston, right? I was like, I didn't want to go backwards. But I was like, I kind of point you in the right direction. So I remember him hitting me up, and I think I left off, it was like between me going to basic training, going to like tech school or whatever, we kind of kept in contact, and he hit me up. He was like, hey, I found a food truck. Can you let me know if it's a good buy? And I was like, okay. I met up with him, and we went to the spot, and it was a straight little truck. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a good buy. And Bernardo had the cash. He was like, the guy wanted like, I don't know what he wanted, like 15K or something like that, right? Bernardo was about to pay for it. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, bro, I think I negotiated it for him. I was like, man, we'll give you 12. whatever. Saved him a couple grand, right? Bernardo paid for it in cash. I'm like, who's this guy? So I was like, okay. So we end up going our separate ways. I went off to tech school, and I came back, and he had Countdown Wings, right? So again, like going through the whole military process, my truck's like, I'm gone like 6 to 8 months, almost a year, right? So by that time, Bernardo's already up and running. So when I come back, I went to go check on him, and I went to the block one time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's when he had Countdown Wing. He had a line, and I'm like, okay. Now it's for sure I need to come back to San Antonio, right? But I was like, man, if I send my truck back, let me operate on the northeast side, because I ain't going to UTSA, right? But Converse, Jetson, and that's why I went. I went to Jetson, I went to Wagner. So that's what I did. I sent for my truck. I had it towed from Houston, literally to San Antonio, literally towed to my mom's house.
Man.
But I remember
it's like
the day,
$900, right?
bro, yes. But again, man, the military I saved all my money. I saved my money, and that was my thing. I was like, because the goal at first was going to save my money, put back in my truck, get another one or something, or go back to Houston. But now I'm thinking like, okay, I can get this. I can get on base. So my first goal was like, I'm gonna get a contract. So that's what I did. I got my first contract with AFES when I came back home. Had my truck, sent for it, set up on the northeast side with a Chick-fil-A on 78. That's like I feel like that's the start spot, right? Yeah. Everybody on 78 by the Chick-fil-A.
I think he would even be there too. Bernardo would be Countdown.
No, he wasn't on the northeast side. He was literally I don't think his truck moved. He stayed at UTSA.
Oh, okay.
He stayed at the block. Well, again, we never we was on. I never thought of anything like that. So I never forget. Like I end up my marketing. I'm a marketing major, right? I never forget. I was like, man, I remember getting a smart car. And I was like, you know what? This is gonna be my gimmick, right? I had my Wing Express truck back in San Antonio, and I was like, this is gonna be my little delivery car. So I wanted to deliver from the truck.
Yeah.
And I think I delivered. I was going on base one day, and I was going down the back road, and I think I seen Kirby. I seen the Kirby location, and it was Felice. And I was like, oh, I checked it out. But me, like, I'm like, I don't got all the money, but I'm like, I know somebody that do.
That red Camaro guy.
That red Camaro guy, man. And then, for me, it's like, early on, I was like, partnerships is real big for me. I was like, you know what? If I was to partner with somebody, it had to make sense. Now, y'all know Bernardo. Bernardo's the man in San Antonio. I was like, so, I haven't been here since high school, right? So my mom was like, you know what? Why not? So we had a meeting, and then that's when we came up with Wing It. So that first year when we first started, I kept my truck. He ended up selling his truck. He had his whole issues with his stuff, and I remember he said he ended up selling it. And we went in on half on a location. Our rent was like $700, literally. And I kept my truck because I'm like, if this don't pan out, I got my truck, right?
The truck was sit right outside there.
The truck was our kitchen. We couldn't afford a kitchen. The location was like 10 restaurants, right? So $700 rent, but it was like a slumlord. So he didn't, the building was dilapidated and all that. So I would cook for my truck. I had my cousin in there. I had my mom in there. And we had walkie-talkies like, hey, drop 20 piece right of that. Like Call of Duty type stuff early days. And I never forget, man, we was going through so much propane. We was like, hey, we need to get this gas on.
Hey, we got to show this picture right here.
Hey,
the early Wing It days.
The early Wing It days, like literally. And that's how we started. And that's how we started in Kirby, man. And that's how Wing It was born. 2014. We just made, well, matter of fact, we'd be 12 years next month in April. Yeah.
I think most of San Antonio knows you as the wingman.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Come on.
hey, trademark, baby.
I love it. Hey, that's cool. I was actually shooting content with somebody, Diego, shout out, and he was basically, I was complaining about my outfit, and he's like, what do you see superheroes wear? Same thing. Like, you identify them, so it's cool. Like, you're building that brand, the wingman, but you also have Sip It.
Yes.
Highly creative. How did that come about? Tell us about the Sip It story.
Man, so let's go back 2019. So we were doing our thing. So around that time, me and Bernardo, we had 2 locations, right? I was running the Kirby location. He was running the Universe City location. And he hit me up, and we were doing like beer and wine daiquiris inside Wing It, right? So again, we was doing that up into 2019 the whole time. Opened up 2014, right? And him being the financial guy he was like, sales are kind of pretty good with the margaritas and stuff like that. And he had found a old car dealership that was behind the Pat Brook location, right? And he was like, hey, let's we had a meeting, whatever. And then, that's how we came up with Sip It. It was like, You know, he didn't want that name Sip It. He wanted something.
I remember.
He wanted something crazy, but I said, bro, let's do like a focus group. And I like put a bunch of people in a text message.
Was Sip It, Sip It, Sip It, Sip It, Sip It. Bernardo has left the group.
Yeah. He wanted something. It was fun fact. So I remember he wanted like the first design. Because again, I'm a marketing guy, so I like, you know, I can see things before, you know, because I like to compare to I want to be clean. Like I'm looking at Smoothie King, I'm looking at Starbucks. These are brand names, right? Mm-hmm. Why can't we have those? So that's all my mindset when it comes to marketing. And when we came up with Sip It design, I was like, okay, I think we wanted a green roof or something. It totally left. But anyway, so we had the idea. We opened up, I think we signed a lease around January, opened up like around March, and the pandemic hit. Blew us up. When I say we had a line down the block every day.
Wrapped around Pat Booker, Kitty Hawk.
So to this day, we're the reason why there's a bike lane in University. It was so many cars, the cops would, so man, it was a point in time where we had to turn a drive-through around. Like basically we had a back parking lot, right? We had to reroute the cars. So it looked like Fiesta, Texas in the back. Like we had Bernardo's dad and working in a tent, directing people, and they was getting a drink on this side, and like, but that's how we was pivoting, and we didn't know what we had, and we was like, okay, we on to something. I mean, it's the best ROI we ever had being in the business, right? Starting like in 2014, like wow, you know, it takes 2 minutes to make a 5-piece combo in a cup, technically, right? And that was like the mindset of it. So it was like, okay. And then, you know, buddies, you know, we had buddies like Andrew and Chris, they early on, they were like, okay, they want in, right? And that's kind of how Sip It was born. And we just like the next year, we was like, we was hoping for another shutdown. Because we was going to say, we're going to have like 3 more. I think we opened up 3 more the next year. We was like, if a shutdown come, hey, we locked and loaded, right? And the people in the area was like, man, how did y'all predict the pandemic? And we was like, hey, when you favored, man,
Sip It did not bring COVID, just so y'all know.
Yeah, Sip It did not. Hey, but we thank you for all the loyal customers that waited, man. Great times, man. Great times. And now we're 16 in plus and growing. Yeah. Shout out to our franchise owners.
Can I say something?
Yeah, what you got?
I was salty when. Remember we was talking around this time, 2021. I was like, I think I want a location.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want something on Calabria. Can't do Calabria. Why? I think Barlow gonna get on. I said, man.
Yeah. I do remember something like that.
We knew each other, but we didn't know each other now.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Barlow is so smart. I was like, this dude got the best, because I lived down the street at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, man, do you know how much lines it's gonna see this Sip It?
Oh, Alamo Ranch is just, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just, the population density is crazy. I mean, that's just the key to all of our great locations is just, all of our great stores, the key is the location. I mean,
location,
you put it in the right spot, customers are going to come.
Yeah.
The more convenience, so.
100%.
Shout out to Alamo Ranch.
Yeah.
Y'all kind of blew up after that one. Like y'all were already good, but then after Alamo Ranch, it put more awareness.
Well, yeah, I think it was good because we had Pat Booker, and then we went to the complete opposite side of the city. So it was like, you can't call us little mom and pops.
No. Yeah, exactly.
We're now, and that location looked fire. I mean,
that was our first build out. So then we didn't really know like I said, that was our first build out. Like
it's probably in the book too.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it is. I need to add a chapter for that. Yeah. But that was like our first build out. So it was like,
I remember losing sleep over worrying about the drive-through.
Yeah.
Because just how crazy Pat Booker was.
Yeah. Early on, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. When we first
made
opened
the news for that line
many times.
Yeah, that line was long.
Yeah. Good times.
That's beautiful. So I love that, the journey was not for you to share that with people, because in this day, everyone wants this quick scheme. We want the Corvette, the Camaro now. We want the nice trucks, want the nice house.
Yeah.
Shit didn't come overnight for us, know?
Yeah, for sure.
We were buying houses together at the same time, and we're like, man, like, this is stressful, but it was worth it because, we put in the work, 12, 14 years later, and now, finally, we're seeing a little payoff, but it's like, no one knows about the no AC and asbestos falling down from the roof.
People don't know even about the fact that there's 2 things you and Bernardo did, because I used to help Bernardo count his money in college.
Yeah.
Y'all saved. Bernardo did not have nice shoes, nice clothes. He had his Camaro, but he saved his money. I remember there was one event, they probably made about $25,000 from that event.
Oh, wow.
Bernardo probably spent like $1,000 of it.
Yeah.
So which helped him get to the point. Same with you. You were like, I got this action. I'm going to stick to this plan. Saved my money. Boom. There's no handout. So that's huge on that end.
So what's something like your experience? Shout out to Olive Garden too, though, because I will say, you know,
They got to pay us for this. We can't keep shouting out these.
But man, like the training that they give you is top notch. I mean,
you worked there too?
I did work there. I hated every minute of it. I was not built for that, but I knew I needed to learn some skills because I was such a shy person, and I wanted to. So I knew I needed to go serve because it taught me a bunch of skills.
Yeah.
And then I knew I needed to learn how to sell. So that was my next job. But the skills that, you know, that job created within us, you know, you could take those skills and go work anywhere. And I think that's something great that we all try to instill in our companies is just pouring into our people that, you know, they can take something from here that, you know, sip it, wing it, Barlow daily, and they can transfer that into life, and it's going to be a life skill. So it's something great that I think people that are starting their companies or growing their companies, like, you need to pour into your people because without them, we are nothing.
Another thing that's all three of us, our parents probably thought we weren't paying attention, we weren't listening to them when we were younger. But
bro, they
parents,
knew we were as loud as my mom was screaming.
But parents, even like us, this is to the parents out there, you matter. Like, you really define and shape the path for your kids because your mom was at Basie's.
Yeah.
Your mom, so even though you weren't really locked in on what she was doing, you end up there. His dad was in real estate. My dad was in real estate. I'm sitting, and we're now somehow in the same industry, profession. We're just taking it to the next level. And so that's huge, man. Like, for the parents, shout out to your mom.
Yeah,
I did not know your mom had Basie's.
Yeah.
Man.
So now you're in a position, you got multiple employees, different brands. What's something that you kind of look at when you're bringing in people to your team that you want to see? Is there anything that, like, any traits that you like to look for? We've been through some crazy things over the last couple of years with these
for sure.
with people. But you know, if you could give some advice to people that are trying to grow their business or hire, like, what are some things that you look for that make good employees or good team members?
I think definitely I look for if I can definitely add like another me. You know, customer service aspect is big. Like, how do y'all interact? You know, how do you interact with, you know, just our conversation, just with our interview, right? Are you engaging? Are you timid? Are you kind of like, you know, so I think, you know, definitely for the people that you want to hire, I think definitely and it goes back to, again, like customer service, right? I think that's big, right? I'm not gonna hire you as a cashier if you're, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta look for those qualities that stand out. You know, where have you worked before? You know, the people that, you know, you've been here every 3 months, you got a different job, you know, that might not necessarily be the person you want to hire, right? Or you see somebody that's been there 5 years, right? That might be somebody you want to hire.
So let me ask you, because a lot of times hiring and staffing in restaurants, especially, is difficult.
That's
right?
what I was going to ask.
So sometimes you get to the point where you're just short staffed and it's like, we'll take anybody. But would you advise someone in a position like to, you know, look for the best traits and hope for the best? Or would you say stick to it, don't hire, just struggle for a little bit?
I think early on, like I said, you don't know what you don't know. Like, you know, literally, sometimes we winged it, literally, no pun intended. But I think for us early on, you know, you sometimes you hire people or you promote people before the time they need it, or you know, sometimes they're not even, you know, you make a manager that's not even meant to be a manager, right? And I think sometimes you learn from those mistakes. But as you learn, as you grow in that business, you learn who, like, to, okay, what was that person's strength, right? Because that cashier, they might not be the best cashier, but they might have to be the best cook.
Yep.
and knowing how to pivot. How can I use this strength for this person that's been with me 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
They might not be the best salesperson, but they're damn good organizer, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're the secretary. Maybe there's somebody I can tweak.
Yep.
I could put or coach to do something else, right? So I think that's always.
It's definitely something that I admire in you, and we had a venture together, Wing It.
Yeah.
And I just remember you always saying that, you know, this person may not be the greatest cashier, but let's try him back here. And sure enough, you find people don't always know their strengths until you put them in a position to win. So it's up to us as leaders to know how to pivot and move people to a position that they can succeed.
100%.
So I think you do a great job of that in looking at the person overall, rather than, I think we can be so quick to just judge somebody off a couple of actions. You know, we got to look at the entirety of a person, because there's hidden strengths in all of us that you need just somebody to see it and pull it out of us.
Daryl got a heart.
Yeah. Man,
patience.
Patience.
He does got patience.
Oh man. I read this book. It's a good book. I'm gonna plug. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yep.
And they kind of. I don't know if you read that.
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yes.
I haven't finished it. I just started it.
Yeah.
I'm on chapter 2. It's great.
Yeah, man, it's great. But again, it's like pulling those people that might not have been good at that position. But man, you know what I'm saying? Like the busser might have, he might not have been the best busser fumbling, but this man was a damn good barista or bartender, whatever it might have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like again, like it's putting these people catering to their strengths.
Mm-hmm. Man, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because at the time it was you two and Bernardo.
Mm-hmm. In a store,
in one store.
Mm-hmm.
So I know him, I know Bernardo, I know you.
I know him in the kitchen too. Like,
so
whatever it takes.
So
for
people, because one, I'm big on, as you know, I've said it in.
You had to jab me with that.
Why he in the kitchen, bro?
Exactly.
Hey,
but I say it a lot of times on here. You can't do this alone.
In the kitchen with a 3-piece suit, man.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
With the rollie.
Yeah, hey.
Grease on the rollie.
Yeah.
But no, how did y'all decide or stick to, hey, you're here, or you here? Or did y'all struggle with that at first?
I think it's always a dynamic, like I said, especially when you don't know something, right? Going forward, like you try to see how that synergy meshes. It goes back to the strengths, like who's better at this, who's kind of like delegating. So I think that's still something we learn, even with me and Bernardo, right? We still kind of are challenged for different things, right? Like, hey, I could do that, because so many times you think you could do everything, and you don't want the extra help that somebody else can bring, right? And sometimes that can clash. But again, I think it's a growth thing. I think as you work long with somebody, you end up knowing their strengths. It goes back. I think it's the same kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Even with a partner, you know their strengths, where they're good at, right? I'm not gonna put somebody that's never cooked before, like
right,
that's better at sales, right? I'm gonna put this guy on sales, because then at the end of the day, the whole company's winning because they're in a better position, right?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
sure.
Yes, partnering with is important, but defining roles early on is just as important.
Sure.
Because you can't do it alone, but then, when you start something brand new, and I mean, I think me and him probably had a little friction here and there, but once we just establish roles, that kind of removes and kind of stick to it, like not jumping over there and jumping over here, but
I think boundaries are important for everything. I mean, a partnership is just another relationship. It's another. I'm not gonna say a marriage, but it's a business marriage.
I mean, it's business marriage.
And you set roles just like you would in your household. You expect each other to show up in those roles and do what it takes. It works. If not, you can have a divorce and you guys part ways. But as long as everyone pulls their weight in the house, you have a harmonious, good relationship.
Right.
Business should run the same way. I mean, but what you said is very important. Is just you have to define it, because everyone needs boundaries. Everyone needs to know what lane there should be driving in, because if not, you have chaos and everyone's driving in every different direction. So, yeah, I think that's something we're all learning still to this day, trying to be better at. So,
yeah, 100%.
I think that's something everybody's continuously evolving with as life goes on. Because we're different. I mean, every year we evolved, and we're a different person we were last year.
For sure.
when we first started doing business together, we're not the same people. We're way higher, more educated, more patient, you know, a little more experienced. So it's like the relationship in business has to evolve in partnerships too.
And you wrote a book about food trucks? Tell us about that.
So yeah, I have a book coming out by the end of the month called The Food Truck Game.
The Food Truck Game.
Food Truck Game, man. And really it's kind of like, you know, the testament. I told you the story a little more in detail, like how I started. And really, like I said, people always ask me, man, like, man, I want to, you know, I'm an aspiring chef, you know, I want my own, right? So for me, it's like, you know what, how can I, you know, give back this knowledge that I have? I never want to be a gatekeeper, right?
For sure.
Back, you know, if I had, you know, if I knew half the things I knew back in the day, you know, I would have, you know, I wouldn't have went left, right? I would have went right.
Yes.
So for me, I was like, if I can give a blueprint, right? If I give somebody, that next person that aspiring, whatever you want to do, like, and for me, that's what I know, right? That's why I started. So I want to give that game to that next person, that next man, that next woman. Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful because it's like, think about how many lives, you know, how many people right now want a food truck.
Yeah.
I know I got 3 in my phone probably asking me questions and I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But there's thousands of people that can take that and help them avoid some speed bumps. So that's going to be beautiful. I'm excited for that to come out. Yeah, When's it coming out?
It should be, I'm going to say April. April. So I'm getting it wrapped up. I actually got a Amazon e-version of it that's out already. I need to pub a little more, but you can find it. The Food Truck Game 101.
Food Truck Game.
That book in the hand that's coming out in April. So that's the that's
so
the
we need to wait for that?
I would say let's wait for that one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So was it scary to write this book?
It was. I would say I wouldn't necessarily say scary. I would say because you don't want to give people the wrong information, right? But then you want to give them the real information. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I don't never want to, you know, say, so that's why I have my stories in there. I want to have, you know, hey, the pitfalls, right? The stuff that nobody told me.
Absolutely.
And if I can, like I said, help somebody avoid, you know, that, then hey, I think I've done my job, right?
No doubt.
I'm eager to know what's one thing that you struggled with in the very beginning that you no longer struggle with now? Like starting off a business, like was there something, you know, like, man, I really, I don't want to use the word suck, but you sucked at it. And you knew it was like a downfall. Like if you don't conquer this thing, that you won't grow in this business industry.
I like saying just starting, right? A lot of people have ideas and then they don't take that initiative, right? I have a chapter in the card, write it down, make it plain, right? The graveyard is full of ideas of woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? But for me, it's like you got an idea, write that thing down, because if not, it's just an idea, right?
Right.
Once you got that thing written down and those notes, I still got ideas that I'm just now coming to fruition, right?
Right.
That I wrote years ago. So it's like, you know, but if I wouldn't have wrote it down, it would just have been an idea that I'm like, oh, you know, how many times y'all seen something like an invention came out, like, man, I had that idea.
Oh, of course.
And you like,
Seal.
oh, yeah.
No, I'm playing.
But for real, right? You like, man, I had that idea in middle school, like, and could have had billions, but I didn't write it down. I didn't follow it up. I didn't do the thing, right? I didn't do my due diligence, right? So I feel like, you know, a lot of these ideas, man, people have, man, just write it down. Just try it. Just start.
That
you
is
don't know.
The difference between every successful business, every successful entrepreneur, they just did it. They just took a leap. They just tried it.
And I don't think you struggle with, as long as I've known you, what's that, 2012, 2013? You don't struggle with starting. Because when you have an idea, you're going to throw it out there. You're going to try it. You're going to see how it goes. But is there something along this journey that you struggled with in the beginning that now you're like?
Yes. I think it's like, you know, giving the energy to the wrong people, right?
Woo!
It's so many naysayers, right? I mean, I love my family, right? But I knew I couldn't tell, you know, I knew I can go back and tell mama I'm gonna use some student aid and go buy a food truck, right? She gonna be like, you're crazy.
Oh, I thought that was the shoebox money. You use the school money? That was the FAFSA money?
Hey, that's that refund check. It could have been a little bit of both. It's a refund check. That's you saved
a little bit of both, man. But I say all that to say, again, like, you can't tell.
Telling yourself.
Hey, can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
At least you did it for that. I was using my refund check for Jordans.
I mean, you're not the
you could
only
have had
person.
a rental property or something like that.
Could have had it all. I didn't know what I know now.
But
Well, what kind of rental property is he gonna buy with that money?
I mean, you never know.
Hey,
them refunds was nice back in the day.
The refunds was nice.
Yes,
$5,000,
man. Come on now.
I was
down
in school
payment
for a long time, so I fell off my mom's track.
Okay.
So now,
but anyway, back to what I was saying. Like for real, like giving your energy to the wrong. Like, cause if you go give it to a naysayer that's like, oh, you can't do that. It's not possible. Then it's not gonna be possible, right?
For sure.
They say eagles sing with eagles. Like you want people in your corner. So now it's like early on, I'm worrying about what people had to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, if I tell my cousin, they not, if they gonna feel it. Yeah. Now I'm just go, hey, I'm gonna pull up. If it's gonna sell or not. Like, I'm gonna just do it. I never want to be in a position where like, man, I should have did it, but man, he talked me out of it. Mama talked me out of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go for it, right?
I love it. I see you doing a lot of speaking engagements.
Yeah.
Doing the circuit. I love it. Telling your story. And I mean, really, it's just impactful to help the community and those on the grind. Do you ever have imposter syndrome, or you feel like, dang, like, am I really qualified for this? Or
yeah, I think all the time, man. I think that's natural, right?
Yeah.
I think especially being a minority, I'm going to spaces where it's not necessarily us in there, right? So for me, it's like I'm just now like, okay, I know,
I got this.
I got this, right? Preaching myself up.
Yeah.
But and I think it's me from one of my mentors. He said like it's reps.
It's reps.
It's reps, man. Just take them reps.
Yeah.
Take them reps. So I'm learning that now. It's like just take those reps and don't be afraid to just put yourself out there.
What do you feel about that, Alan? Do you ever have that emotion?
Man, what I used to struggle with was not that. I always feel that I'm more than enough. The issue I had was worrying about what others thought. So it was like, yes, I could do this, I could do that. But it was worried about what the people on the other side thought, both good and bad, because y'all know I don't like everybody knowing my business.
Yeah.
So if they know I make money, what do they think? Oh, he's too good. Or if I don't do this, that was my issue more so than feeling I'm not good enough. I always felt my mom, man, I love my mom and my dad, but my mom was big on always telling me whatever my dad or her didn't get, I was getting. So I always knew I was going to be great at something. I always felt, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire, just a matter of time. Whatever the case was, I felt I could do it. It's just blocking out what other people thought along the way. So that was my struggle, and that's the thing I had to deal with.
So on the contrary, I want to ask y'all, is there anything where have you ever caught yourself being a little overly confident in something where you had to check yourself and say, oh, okay, I need to get a little more reps on this, or I need to get a little more experience? Because I personally just had this happen with a client, a mentor, and extremely successful centimillionaire. And, it kind of checked me on some things. I thought I was just flying high. Thought I was an eagle. But, I'm not a pigeon, but I'm not there yet. So
humbled you real quick.
It was really good because now it's going to put me back on a course to get there. But I think we need those humbling moments too. So have y'all had anything where you kind of had to check yourself or got checked?
I would just say like I did a speaking engagement one time where I tried to freestyle it, right? and man, when I say I was bumbling, oh man. So I say preparation is definitely key. So
I've done that before, and it's the worst thing in the world. Like, you start sweating.
Oh my goodness.
You start counting down in your own head.
Lock those knees.
Yeah. When can I get off the stage?
You go on. You think you got a little social media hype, video. You could go in there. Man, you definitely got preparation is definitely key.
Yeah.
For sure.
Overly confident, no, but I'll tell you this because you kind of was around this time, where I had to get humbled because I got beside the person that I'm like, hey, stay calm, stay low key. You don't have to be this. You don't need this car. You don't need this house. You don't need this clothes. 2021 was the humbling moment. Was when I made a lot of money, and then that one of the wells dried up. So that was the humbling moment. And it was the penny stocks when he used to come over he witnessed it. Like, dang, man. And then I was doing stuff that it was a learning lesson. But that was probably my humbling moment. But I don't think I've ever been overly confident. I just feel I'm big on just starting. Like, and I don't know if I call that overly confident. I'll just be like, man, if I don't start it, someone else will. So it goes back to like, I know what situation you're talking about. I always tell him, man, you are that. Like, you are that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it could be a little overconfident, but it's just like, man, because you're right. We're in industries now. We're getting in doors that, from the favor of God, I feel that, man, you do look at yourself like, dang, am I not? You might think like, dang, I'm over here with these people. And we've been humbled at a table where these people talking about private jets. And me and him looking at each other like, I don't know how to talk about private jets.
Yeah.
We ain't got no private jet. But yeah, like it's just.
But you will, because you're in them circles, right? So
yeah, but I'm not going to get a private jet. I won't.
Not yet.
Maybe. Okay, I can't say that. Maybe Barlow Day they'll have a private jet. That's what he just said. Like,
so I think, like Alan was saying, he wanted to hop into that Culebra spot.
Yeah.
Sorry. But there is plenty of opportunity.
Huh? We partners now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
There is plenty of opportunity. Sip It is growing.
Yes.
I mean, Wing It is doing fantastic. We're in the Alamo Dome. Y'all are in the Alamo Dome?
Alamo Dome, yeah.
Alamo Dome. So there is plenty of opportunity. If you are an investor, accredited, we would love to entertain, have a conversation. You want to talk about that?
For sure. I mean, like I said, I think, growth is definitely good and definitely on our horizon. And I always like to compare, like I said, you don't got to reinvent the wheel. Like, it's a model already out there. So for us, it's big. It's like, you see the Starbucks, you see the Wingstops of the world. And if they could do it, I always say we can do it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, just going into the next few years is like, I think, the sky's the limit. Where there's 100 locations, we can do that thing, right?
For sure.
Because it's seen. We've seen it done. It's just a matter of us doing it. So, you can go to drinksipit.com, orderwingit.com. You could click the tab on franchising, put an inquiry on. We do have a mobile unit. We're going to start doing those with the Wingits and the Sipits, right? And yeah, the sky's the limit.
Man, yeah, don't forget, guys, we just had someone that didn't reinvent the wheel from Black Swan Yoga. And she didn't go create her own yoga spot. She took Black Swan Yoga, franchised it, brought it to San Antonio. So yeah, you could take Sip It, which has gained recognition in San Antonio, and take it to your town. So yeah.
Yeah, not only is Sip It here, I mean, already expanded to Kyle, New Braunfels.
San Marcos.
Dallas,
making its
Dallas
way
on the way.
Making its way through Texas, baby.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate you guys for spending some time with us today. Tap in. We'll be back. Have a good week.